Johnny Depp is one of the few actors who might appear quiet and mysterious, but don't let that fool you.
The winners wrote, but what actually happened, it's pretty devastating.
Over the years, he's had some serious real-life drama and tension, hotter than any movie script. The case being that he couldn't just vibe with some actors and things got sour.
I mean, to become fascinated with the personal life or the thoughts and opinions of a person who pretends for a living, who lies for money, is beyond me.
From on-set clashes to long-standing grudges, here are 7 actors Johnny Depp hated the most. And for your information, the story gets wilder as we go. Starting at number 7, we have Lola Glaudini.
When they say cut, walks over to me. He walks over and he comes up to me, he sticks his finger in my face, and I'm in a bikini on the ground like this. And he comes over and he goes, "Who the f do you think you are? Who the f do you think you are? Shut the f."
If you have watched Criminal Minds, then you probably know Lola Glaudini. In 2001, when she was still an upcoming actress, she got a small role in Blow, which had Johnny Depp as the major lead. Unfortunately for her, what should have been a smooth set experience was quite the opposite. While filming one of the scenes, Lola was instructed by the director, late Ted Dam, to laugh when it was time for Johnny Depp to say his lines, so she did exactly that. But just as they were done with the second take, Johnny Depp allegedly lost it and came storming towards her. According to her, he looked straight at her and shot out different curse words at her angrily, like she had offended him greatly or something. Yikes. For you to burst out at someone like that spells out strong dislike. The actress was so shaken that she couldn't even react at the moment. For her, it looked like she was left out to dry, and that was one of the most embarrassing moments of her career. She opened up about this years later on a podcast, and although Depp's team denied this, it doesn't take a genius to know that this might be true. Blow was the last movie Johnny Depp and Lola ever worked on. Enough about this. Let's move on to number 6, who is none other than Leonardo DiCaprio.
All his ducks were in a row, and I tortured him. I really did. I actually did. Because he was always talking about these video games, and...
What happens when a teenage Leonardo DiCaprio and a middle-aged Johnny Depp get on set together to act in a movie? Back in 1993, the two worked together on What's Eating Gilbert Grape, and at that time Leonardo was just 19, an upcoming teen heartthrob, while Depp, on the other hand, was a brooding Hollywood icon already dealing with the problems of being so popular. According to Depp, Leonardo was annoying because he was just this kid who didn't seem to shut up about his video games. Depp had had enough of this and decided to torture him by being mean to him, especially because he was in a dark phase of his life. This created a little tension on set since Depp was out to torture Leonardo like he said. For Leonardo, seeing someone that he had always wanted to meet act that way towards him was kind of disappointing and a harsh reality check. Fortunately for Leonardo, this movie gave him his first Oscar nomination and more limelight in his career. But guess who couldn't care less? Johnny Depp. He kept his distance, barely acknowledging Leonardo's rise to stardom at the time. Fast forward years later, Depp admits that he was in a bad place that prompted his actions towards his co-star and owns up to his actions. Now, it might seem like he respects Leonardo's talent, but back then, he didn't like him at all and couldn't stand him. Moving on to number 5, we have Armie Hammer. Once upon a time, Johnny Depp and Armie Hammer teamed up in The Lone Ranger back in 2013. And although it was supposed to be Disney's next big shot franchise, it turned out to be less than what they expected, and this was where the problem began. This movie had a budget that hit the roof with $250 million, so imagine the disappointment when they didn't get as much in return. The movie became a box office failure. Now, all these made everyone tense. And Johnny? He didn't like what was going on at all.
The winners wrote, but what actually happened, it's pretty devastating.
He had already stated earlier in an interview that he didn't like the use of cowboys and Native Americans, so the whole issue just solidified his dislike of that. The two co-stars' chemistry on screen was good, but off-screen, it was quite the opposite. They never walked together again after that, and both walked away with bruised reputations for being tied to the biggest box office failures of the decade. There was no public insult or loud blowout, but there was brooding resentment. Depp was certainly not in a hurry to revisit that collaboration ever again. The next actor on our list is number 4, Marlon Brando.
I mean, to become fascinated with the personal life or the thoughts and opinions of a person who pretends for a living, who lies for money, is beyond me.
Johnny Depp once said that working with Marlon Brando was like a dream come true, and that shows you how much he admired the guy. At the time they starred together in Don Juan DeMarco back in 1994, Depp was still rising, and Brando was already a living legend. You'd think it was the start of a beautiful mentorship, but behind the scenes, Brando didn't exactly return the love that Depp showed. At first, everything seemed cool. Depp would try his best to play his roles perfectly, but Brandon was not just impressed. According to word from the set, he found Johnny a little too self-absorbed and trying too hard with the whole mysterious look. According to people close to the shoot, Brando would roll his eyes when Depp gave long-winded takes on art and acting. He thought Johnny was trying to be him, but without putting in the same emotional effort.
Just listening to Marlon telling these, amazing stories, probably lie.
To Johnny, this was a kick in the face, especially because this was someone he looked up to. Even years later, when Depp would talk about Brando in interviews, you could sense the tension. He was respectful, but he always mentioned how unusual or strange Brando was. It's as if he's trying to say that the guy was a genius but a pain in the bottom. Enough about Brandon. Let's move on to the number 3, who is none other than Angelina Jolie.
Something for them. Probably a microfilm. It's usually microfilm involved.
What awaits me?
Trouble.
When Johnny Depp and Angelina Jolie were cast together in The Tourist, it felt like a Hollywood dream come true. Two of the most beautiful, enigmatic stars in the business are finally sharing the screen. At first, things were promising. The two were going on and on about how the other person was such a great actor in all aspects. They were respectful towards each other. But as filming went on, that whole energy fizzled fast. According to people on set, Jolie started getting frustrated with Johnny's behavior. She's known for being sharp, focused, and detail-oriented, and Johnny? Not so much. He was reportedly showing up late, chain-smoking between scenes, and acting all laid back. And for Angelina, this was not impressive at all.
$20 million worth of plastic surgery. And that's the face you choose.
Do you not like it?
Johnny wasn't exactly thrilled either. He found Angelina a bit too controlling, maybe even self-important. He reportedly kept his distance, ducking into his trailer instead of chatting between takes. The easy banter that was there early on turned into awkward silence and icy professionalism. Despite all that, they pulled off the film. Their performances were polished and they held it together for the cameras, but behind the scenes, the vibe was far from romantic. No inside jokes. No friendship lasted, just two megastars who realized they didn't click the way everyone hoped they would. Over to number 2, we have James Franco.
Amber was having an affair with James Franco, correct?
Yeah.
This actor right here is someone Depp has every right to hate on. Let's go down memory lane. In 2015, Amber Heard was filming The Adderall Diaries with James Franco. Nothing crazy, just two actors working together. But to Johnny, it was a huge problem. And according to Amber, Johnny couldn't stand even hearing the name of James Franco. She testified that Depp would interrogate her about Franco constantly, asking if she was sleeping with him, accusing her of hiding things, and losing it any time Franco's name came up. And then there's the flight. During the infamous Boston to LA plane ride, Heard says Johnny was drunk, high, and raging, all because she had filmed a scene with Franco the day before. She claimed he screamed at her, kicked her, and passed out in the bathroom. And when the case went to trial, that story came right back up. And here's where it gets even messier. Surveillance footage was shown in court, actual video of James Franco visiting Amber Heard at Johnny's penthouse the night after she claims Depp threw a phone at her. Franco was seen entering the elevator with her, resting his head on her shoulder. For Depp, that was fuel to the fire. In his eyes, that confirmed everything he already believed. It was obvious that something was going on between James Franco and Johnny's ex. This made Johnny not only dislike Franco, but also hate the idea of him. This wasn't the regular co-star beef, but something different. James Franco was a symbol of betrayal in Johnny's marriage and life. There is no way of coming back from there. Finally, the last but not least, number 1, Amber Heard.
Did you commit any kind of prank?
Absolutely not. Okay. Absolutely not.
Amber Heard isn't just someone Johnny Depp didn't get along with. She's the woman who nearly destroyed his entire career and brought him down emotionally and psychologically.
Good to see you guys!
They met in 2009 on the set of The Rum Diary, and at first, it was giggles, passion, charm, and chemistry between the two. But over the next decade, it unraveled into one of the most toxic, public, and destructive Hollywood relationships of all time. And the worst part? Nobody really knew how dark it was until the can of worms was opened in the court for the whole world to see.
I'm not gonna be in a physical altercation with you.
Then don't.
You hit me last night, you.
What about all the other times you split?
In 2016, Amber filed for divorce and a restraining order, claiming Johnny had been physically abusive. The headlines were brutal. Depp lost major film roles, his reputation crumbled, and for a while, the world believed he was the villain. Well, that was until he responded with a lawsuit in 2022, suing Amber Heard for defamation over an op-ed she wrote about being a victim of abuse. The trial was televised, and the world saw a side of both of them that was raw, disturbing, and unfiltered. Depp didn't just accuse Amber of lying, he accused her of abusing him, emotionally and physically. He said she belittled him, manipulated him, and left him feeling like he was on the verge of a nervous breakdown. He described a life where he walked on eggshells, constantly being accused, degraded, and attacked.
My side of the bed was human fecal matter.
The details were graphic. Fights, bruises, screaming matches. Even the infamous story of human feces being left in their bed, a moment so bizarre it became a courtroom punchline, but behind it was deep humiliation and anger. Throughout the trial, Depp looked like he was reliving his worst nightmare and couldn't wait for it to be over. But Amber, on the other hand, was utterly cold, calculating, and unmoved by everything happening. At the end of the day, the verdict came in ruling in Depp's favor. But even with this, great damage had already been done and would leave Depp loathing Amber for many years to come, because this wasn't just a feud, but a full-blown war that left a lot of damage. Amber Heard is not just an ex, but a symbol of a battle that nearly destroyed Johnny Depp. At the end of the day, we can't like everyone, and it's the same with Johnny Depp. These are the 7 actors Johnny Depp hated most. Don't forget to share, like, and hit the subscribe button for more.